From Nebraska's trusted news source, this is Channel 8 News at 5.
Coming up on the news, we're going to show you newly released video showing trick-or-treaters running through a neighborhood after an Omaha officer fired shots at a reckless car.
Plus, daycare costs continue to skyrocket for families. Many are asking for something to change. But first,
his condition is serious at this point and minor injuries on the female. We do not have anybody in custody at this time.
A man is in the hospital after being stabbed this morning in northeast Lincoln. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us.
Lincoln police say they responded to reports of a fight at a house near 68th and Logan Avenue. Channel 8's Matthew Mittleider was there earlier today and has our top story tonight.
Lincoln police are still searching for the suspect of a stabbing that occurred just after 11:30 on Tuesday morning. It happened at a home near the intersection of North 68th and Logan Avenue, where police say they received reports of a fight. When they arrived, officers found a 43-year-old man with stab wounds and a 36-year-old woman with minor injuries. The man was taken to a local hospital with serious injuries, according to Sergeant Justin Armstrong, who was at the scene.
His condition is serious at this point and minor injuries on the female. We do not have anybody in custody at this time.
Armstrong says the woman was treated at the scene for her injuries and released. After interviewing with neighbors and witnesses, police say the suspect ran away on foot following the stabbing. They say they know who they're looking for, but do not yet have anyone in custody.
I don't believe there's any risk to any members of the community on a safety standpoint. I would urge anybody with any specific information about this incident or witness information to contact Lincoln Police Department or Crime Stoppers.
Police are still conducting their investigation and are speaking with neighbors, but believe they have identified all parties involved in the stabbing. Reporting in Lincoln, Matthew Mittleider, Channel 8 News.
In Omaha, the latest now on an officer-involved shooting last night during trick-or-treating.
It happened after police say a man driving recklessly almost hit a big crowd of kids. You can see the car on this surveillance video after going through a barricade at a neighborhood Halloween function in Omaha. Moments later, you hear the gunshots. Police say several officers were assigned to the event for community outreach. It was barricaded off so no vehicle traffic could enter the area as hundreds of people were expected. OPD says authorities were alerted to a vehicle driving recklessly. And then an officer who was handing out candy ran through the crowd into the street in front of the driver. Officials say he gave several loud verbal commands and held out his hand, gesturing for the driver to stop. That's when the officer fired his weapon. The 31-year-old driver was hit 3 times but is expected to survive. The Omaha police chief said after investigating, they don't believe the driver was intentionally trying to run anyone over. Also, no kids or parents were injured. Now, the Omaha officer who fired his gun has been placed on paid administrative leave, which is standard in these types of situations as the investigation continues. Today, the University of Florida Board of Trustees voted to select Nebraska Senator Ben Sasse as president.
The vote will now go to the University Board of Governors, who will have a final say on November 10th. Last week, the University of Florida Faculty Senate approved a vote of no confidence in the presidential search process. That coming after Sasse was named the only finalist for the position. When the university hosted panels with Sasse earlier this month, students protested. One point of concern for them was Sasse's stance on same-sex marriage and other LGBTQ+ matters.
I would have no activity in partisan politics in any way as I arrived at the University of Florida. I wouldn't speak at political events. I wouldn't make political contributions. I look forward to a period of political celibacy.
Sasse has served in the Senate since 2014 and began his political career basing his campaign on the opposition of the Affordable Care Act. He also gained attention in 2016 after repeatedly criticizing former President Trump. Child care costs in Lincoln have spiked dramatically in the last 2 years.
Today, early childhood advocates gathered to talk about a child care crisis that is affecting many of you. Channel 8's Veronica Barreto was there. She joins us now live here in the studio with more. Veronica?
Megan and Rod, not only advocates but also city officials, providers, teachers, and community members all were there today, and they want to find ways to offer more affordable childcare in our city. Local studies show the average annual cost of child care for infants has doubled in Lincoln since 2019. 2 years ago, it was just under $10,000 a year. Now many families pay almost $20,000. And Brandt with Lincoln Little say these changes leave many families with difficult decisions to make.
You know, inflation, there's other high costs. Parents just are not able to afford high quality care and education. Most parents are not.
Brandt says the average income of families in our state is around $60,000 a year. She says paying up to $20,000 for an infant care just doesn't work. And early childhood care advocates say the entire community needs to work together to address this crisis in our city. And I'll take a closer look at this at 6.
Veronica Barreto, thank you for the report. The Rotary Clubs of Lincoln had their 29th annual Salute to Business Award luncheon today.
They honored a local business for their contributions to the community. Sampson Construction, which has been in business for 70 years, was given the 2022 Salute to Business Award. They were being honored for the company's longevity and giving back to the community. But they say while receiving this award is nice, it's not at all what they do the work for.
One of the things that we strive really hard to do is just make sure every day we do the thing that's right to do. And while it's nice to be recognized for the award and the achievement, it's not what we do this for. At the end of the day, when you hand over a key to a new building and to see the owners walk through the front door, that's really what it's all about.
One of the projects they're starting work on is the new Warhorse Casino near Highway 77 and Denton Road. And one they recently completed is the luxury student apartments called Live Red in downtown Lincoln. With winter just around the corner, the Nebraska Public Service Commission instituted their cold weather rule.
From November through March, customers are given a 30-day grace period to pay their heating bill. This applies to everyone, not just low-income families. With another year of increased heating costs and along with the inflation that we're experiencing, the commission felt it was the right thing to do again.
It's the high gas costs right now. It's the high energy world that we live in. And I think it's especially appropriate this year that we offer this to the consumers because there's going to be people that are going to need this help and an extra 30 days to pay their bills.
It's important to note this only applies for customers of Black Hills Energy and Northwestern Energy. Consumers can take steps to decrease their costs by setting the thermostat lower during the winter months. Gas utilities recommend 68 degrees or lower when a building is unoccupied.
But hey, today we don't have to worry about turning on the heat because, Rusty, we're pretty dang close to a record high today.
Yeah, a lot of spots really close to record highs. I don't think we're quite going to get there, but maybe just a degree or two off, and that's about it. So a very warm day out there. Wall-to-wall sunshine. Look at that. Not even a cloud in the sky. Here's what it looks like at Schoen's Roofing Cam in Beatrice. South 6th Street and Perkins, plenty of sunshine, and that temperature is at 77 in Beatrice, 78 in Nebraska City and Hebron. In Lincoln, it is just a little bit no, it's exactly the same, 78 degrees. Thought it was going to be a tad cooler. 76 in Grand Island and Norfolk. Temperatures just in the middle and upper 70s all over the place. A very warm November afternoon. Wind speed is out of the south at 10 to 20 miles per hour. The wind gusts are anywhere from 25 to 30 miles per hour. So it is a little windy out there. I think that is going to be kind of what everybody's talking about tomorrow. So warm through Thursday. There are some storm chances out there as we head towards the second half of the week. And then much cooler air will be on the way. So we'll talk all about this interesting little forecast in a few minutes.
Interesting little forecast. Okay, looking forward to it. Thanks, Rusty. And now we're headed to some Husker football updates. Quarterback Casey Thompson suffered an injury, forcing him to miss the remainder of the game during Saturday's loss to Illinois 26-9.
Channel 8's Lauren Michelson joins us now with what interim head coach Mickey Joseph said about his status. Lauren.
Yeah, you guys, Joseph said Thompson's battling an injury to his throwing arm, a nerve issue in his elbow that's causing problems to his hand. He did not practice today, and Joseph said he met with doctors both Monday and today. And that injury happened in the second quarter after Thompson took a hit by multiple Illini defenders as he threw, causing an interception. Thompson fell on his elbow, which affected his throwing hand, a concern because he had off-season surgery on that same hand after injuring it last season at Texas. For now, Joseph says Thompson is day to day.
I just wanted to hold him out today and let him see the doctors, You seen the doctors yesterday, let him see him again today and see where he's at tomorrow. Because he was really beat up, you know, on Saturday. But when I spoke with him on Sunday, he felt better, and he looked better yesterday. I mean, Casey's took some hits this year, so, you know, I want to make sure I'm careful, and I'd rather say he's out than say he's in and then he don't play, you know.
And with Thompson potentially out, that leaves backups Chubba Purdy and Logan Smothers taking turns in practice. Joseph says they are both getting reps with the ones. Purdy played most of the remainder of the game on Saturday, struggling as he completed 3 of 8 passes for 15 yards and an interception. Stay with us at 6 o'clock to hear what players had to say about those 2 young quarterbacks possibly leading the offense on Saturday, you guys.
All right, thank you, Lauren. Talk to you at 6 o'clock. Coming up, as pediatric hospitals across the country are seeing a spike in RSV cases, one company is working on a vaccine for the virus.
We'll let you know when it could be available right after the break.
Pfizer announces the end of what they call a promising trial for its RSV vaccine, and the company is set to submit data for FDA approval.
If approved, we could be seeing that available for young patients by next winter. CNN's Mike Valerio has the latest.
Looking back at pictures, you could see it in her eyes that they were just like puffy. I was in panic mode. It was terrifying.
As pediatric hospitals across the country still see an above average number of hospitalizations due to respiratory syncytial virus, or RSV, Pfizer is announcing the end of its trial for the RSV vaccine and says it's ready to submit its data to the FDA by the end of the year. The news welcomed by doctors.
This actually is very significant, especially because we are seeing right now the struggles that we can have as a community.
In the Pfizer study, not yet published or peer-reviewed, 7,400 pregnant participants were given a single shot of the vaccine during the late second to third trimester of their pregnancies. Pfizer says the vaccine was 82% effective at preventing severe illness in babies and 70% effective in preventing severe RSV in infants for 6 months.
In the RSV vaccine, that will be a different category of vaccines. That would be one that will be protecting the mom and, most importantly, the newborn.
Children's hospitals remain filled with virus patients due to RSV. Brittany Rivera's 6-year-old son had to wait hours just to see a doctor.
Just having him not be able to actually get good rest is the worst because he's so tired and he can't sleep very well.
Pfizer also saying that they're making headway with positive results in an ongoing trial of the same vaccine for older adults. I'm Mike Valerio reporting.
Now, your Storm Alert team forecast with Chief Meteorologist Rusty Dawkins.
Doesn't really feel like November today, and probably the last thing you're thinking about is snowfall, but it can happen this time of year, and the temperatures can change on a dime around here. We all know that. So what has the last 5 years looked like for snow in November? And it looks like this. The average is about 1.5 inches, so not a whole lot of snow expected in November, but it can happen. Just a trace. The last couple of years, 2021 and 2020, but in 2019 we had just about average, 1.7, and then just over 7 inches in 2018, but the year before that we didn't have anything. So what does this tell you? That it could snow at some point in November. But look at this, and one of my favorite shots right now. The color's getting a little more subdued, a little more brownish colored out there with the red still trying to peek through, but it's getting later and later. The peak of the fall colors has really, I think, peaked. Penner bathing solution looking, it's like it's windy out there in Aurora, but when you're out in the open like that, it tends to get a lot windier than when you're in town. Temperatures right now, though, for Aurora, 74 degrees, 75 in York, 76 Grand Island. Still very close. I think we topped out at 79 in Lincoln. If we could muster 1 more degree, that would be a new record high for this date. 78 in Omaha, 78 in Nebraska City, 77 in Beatrice. The wind out of the south, 10, 20 miles per hour, 15 miles per hour in York and Aurora, 15 also in Columbus, 18 miles per hour in the capital city. But we're right around that 30 mile per hour range for wind gusts this afternoon, and a good portion of the state seeing some wind gusts, like Broken Bow at 30, Hebron at 24, North Platte at 26 miles per hour. Tomorrow, I think the eastern half of the state will see a little bit of a wind out of, there you go, out of the south. I was going to say, it's not going to be out of the north. Model had to catch up with what I was thinking about. 36, 37, maybe up to 40 miles per hour for a wind gust tomorrow afternoon for eastern Nebraska. Satellite is very, very quiet right now. Maybe a few clouds in the panhandle. Stormcast, pretty quiet for the next 24 to 48 hours. So just a few clouds floating over. We'll call that partly cloudy, and then eventually mostly clear skies as we head through Wednesday night. So let's get to Thursday. This is going to be interesting. A couple of things happening here. Moisture, we're going to be close to 60 degrees early Thursday morning. So a little patchy fog going to be possible. So moisture in place. And then a cold front starts to come through. This is Thursday, 5 p.m. As it does, drags much colder air. In fact, there could be some snow in parts of the Panhandle and western Nebraska, and showers and thunderstorms in front of that cold front as we head through Thursday night into very early Friday. Still tracking it, timing and strength of the actual storms a little iffy right now, but just a heads up that we might see some storms Thursday night into very early Friday. Not tonight though, middle 50s, which is way above average. The average low is 34, we'll be at 54 with mostly clear skies and a south wind at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Another day in the upper 70s, pretty close to that record high of 81, but look at that wind. It's out of the south at 15 to 30 gusting towards 40 miles per hour. 7-day forecast has those temperatures in the middle and upper 70s Wednesday and Thursday. Then that chance for storms Thursday night into Friday morning, and much cooler, 50 degrees on Friday. Showers possible again on Saturday into Sunday. We roll the clocks back an hour. So we gain an hour of sleep for some of us, 61 degrees on Monday, and then into the middle 50s and lower 50s for much of next week. That includes Election Day. So a lot going on. This is one of those times a year where you get those warm days and then a cold front sweeps through and knocks us back to reality. That's what's in the forecast for the next few days.
Looks like, okay, I got the gutters cleaned out. Looks like I need to finish the leaves tomorrow morning and everything else outside before everything gets wet.
You should be in pretty good shape by then, right?
Yeah, I'm getting there, little bit by little bit. I just do a little every day. We get there.
If you get done a little early, Rusty and I need a little help at our places, okay?
I was thinking you guys could come to mine and help.
Oh, that's what she was thinking.
Yeah. Ooh, I did buy you guys supper that one time.
Rusty's checking something.
I don't know what I can't hear you.
I can't hear you.
You're not busy. You're not busy. All right. Thank you very much, Rusty. Here's a look at Wall Street for you today. A negative day today. The Dow falling 80 points. NASDAQ is down 97. S&P also losing about 16 points. Here are your numbers. You're watching Channel 8, Nebraska's trusted news source.
Finally tonight, a kid's creative and adaptable costume wins Halloween. And images from space give us the heebie-jeebies.
Jeremy Roth has those stories, and tonight's Take a Look at This.
The National Hockey League dubbed it the Costume of the Year, and frankly, we couldn't agree more. Easton Edding ruled the rink and the neighborhood with his very own Zamboni Halloween costume to go over his wheelchair. Easton was born with an extremely rare genetic condition that affects his legs and causes speech delays and a heart defect. Mom documented his dad making an ice resurfacer replica featuring his favorite team, the Edmonton Oilers, that's just as cool as ice. Even outer space seemed to be joining in the Halloween spirit this week. Take a look at this awesome image that the NASA observatory took of the sun. Those dark splotches are actually cooler areas on the surface. NASA says it looks like a smiling sun. Oh, isn't that nice? And Twitter users had a field day with what they thought. Some compared it to a jack-o'-lantern, while others said it looked more like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man from Ghostbusters. All I can see is the incredible stars on that sun. Not to be overshadowed by the sun, you see what I did there? But check out this asteroid that scientists are calling a planet killer. Wait, what? How is this not the lead story? This is one of 3 near-Earth asteroids lurking within the sun's glare. Astronomers were able to capture an image of the giant space rocks using a dark energy camera in Chile during a brief moment of twilight. Luckily, the asteroid doesn't pose a threat to Earth, at least not for several more centuries, and by then we'll all be robots anyway. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
All right, let's get a final check of the weather with Rusty. What are we, in northern Texas or something with the temps? I don't know.
For now, yeah, it really seems like it. We have really warm temperatures in the forecast, near record highs in some spots. 78 on Wednesday, 76 on Thursday. Then a cold front comes through and brings us back to Nebraska. We'll have stormy chances Thursday night into early Friday. 50 degrees on Friday. There's a small little severe weather threat from about south central, southeastern Nebraska south. I think the better chance will be near Texas, like Rod alluded to. But the next couple of days, a little on the windy side tomorrow, but very warm, 78. And Thursday, same thing, around 76 degrees. So if you like the heat, next couple of days are for you.
All right. Thank you, Rusty, and thank you all for joining us.
World News is next, and we'll see you back here at 6 o'clock.
With the Channel 8 News mobile app, you'll be the first to know. Get alerts about breaking news and weather, all in the palm of your hand.
The spas are here. Truckloads of spas arriving weekly. Hurry in today. These spas are going fast. Spas are in stock and ready for immediate delivery. Supreme Spa and Pool.
Closed